All right, get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into a sea of Amazon reviews, and they're all for one product, the Victor Jurgen back massager. I bet you've seen it. Maybe you've even thought about buying it yourself, but, you know.
With over 10,000 reviews, this thing is definitely making some noise. So is it actually worth it, or is it just another one of those gimmicky gadgets? Well, we've gone through it all, so you don't have to, and we're here to give you the info you need before you click that Buy Now button.
You know, it's really interesting to me. So many of the reviews say that this thing is a miracle worker, especially for the price. I mean, under 30 bucks for something that claims to knead away all your knots, that's pretty tempting for anyone who's ever had a tight shoulder or two.
Right.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it seems like they really packed in the features, too. Heat function, deep kneading massage. It even says it targets those really stubborn neck and shoulder areas we all hate so much. Plus, it even comes with a car adapter so you can use it on the go. I mean, who doesn't love a good massage on a road trip, right?
Yeah.
But before we get too excited, let's break down what this Victor Jurgen back massager actually claims to do.
Well, the product description boasts about these 3D kneading nodes that are supposed to mimic the feel of a deep tissue massage. They promise to relieve stress, fatigue, muscle stiffness. They even say it can help you sleep better. Now, whether it actually lives up to all those claims, well, that's what we're here to figure out. But before we get into that, maybe we should take a step back for those who aren't familiar and actually clarify what deep tissue massage even means.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not all massages are the same, right?
Exactly. Deep tissue massage is different from, say, a relaxing Swedish massage. It's focused on realigning the deeper layers of muscles and fascia. It's not about those gentle strokes. It's about applying concentrated pressure to release chronic muscle tension, often targeting those trigger points that can cause pain in other areas.
Ah, so that explains why some reviewers describe the feeling as intense, even almost euphoric. Like there's one review where someone said it helps them unwind after working 12-hour shifts. But then there's this other review where someone claimed it helped them relax their glutes.
Well, that's pretty interesting. I mean, it is primarily marketed for the neck and shoulders, of course, but its shape and portability definitely lend themselves to some creative applications. And if those 3D nodes are actually good at targeting trigger points, they could theoretically work on a bunch of different muscle
You
groups.
know something else people are raving about? The heat function. Lots of reviewers say it adds another level of muscle relaxation, especially for people dealing with chronic pain.
Yeah, heat therapy can be a total game changer for pain management. It increases blood flow, relaxes muscles, reduces stiffness. So incorporating it into a massage just makes sense. Although, some reviewers did say that the heat wasn't as strong as they expected. So it seems like it really comes down to personal preference. Some people might like a gentler warmth, while others really want that sauna-like feeling.
So it might be great for some people, but not so much for others. But even with all these positive reviews, we can't ignore the big question mark hanging over this whole thing. Or should I say the missing piece of the puzzle. This whole car adapter situation is pretty confusing. Some reviewers swear it comes with the massager, others say it's nowhere to be found, so what's the deal with that?
That's a good question. It is a real head scratcher. You know, this kind of inconsistency isn't all that uncommon. It often points to issues with Amazon's inventory management system. Sometimes Amazon bundles products from different manufacturers or sellers together, which can lead to variations in what's included in the box. Plus, sometimes third-party sellers can get a little creative with their listings.
Okay. So it sounds like we need to do a little detective work before we hit that buy button. And speaking of things we should be cautious about, there's another thing that keeps popping up in the reviews that we can't just ignore. Durability concerns. Several people mentioned that the massager broke down after only a few months of use. Yikes. Is this a case of you get what you pay for?
That's a fair concern. The Victor Jurgen back massager is definitely budget-friendly, but that does make you wonder about how long it's actually going to last. The materials they use and the overall build quality might not be as good as the more expensive models. And that brings us to the classic dilemma, cost versus quality.
Exactly. I mean, a deep tissue massage might feel amazing in the moment, but if the massager itself breaks after a couple of uses, is it really worth the money?
This is where you, the potential buyer, really have to weigh your priorities. Are you looking for a quick fix, a temporary solution for those occasional aches and pains, or are you looking for something that will last for years to come?
That's a really good point. So maybe this budget-friendly option isn't right for everyone. What about people who are really serious about dealing with their back pain? Are there any other options out there that might give them more for their money, even if it means spending a bit more upfront?
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly what we're going to explore next. We'll be diving into some alternative solutions, comparing their pros and cons to the VIKTOR JURGEN, so you can make an informed decision about what's best for you and your budget.
Okay, so we've talked about the good and the bad with this VIKTOR JURGEN back massager. But before we move on to other options, there's one thing in the reviews that really jumped out at me: the design. A ton of people are raving about how curved it is.
You're right, the curved design is definitely a key feature. The product description even mentions it. They say it's specially made to fit the curves of your neck and back, which should make for a more targeted and effective massage than you'd get from those flatter designs. And based on the reviews, it seems like they might be onto something.
Yeah, one reviewer even said it felt like real hands kneading their muscles. That's pretty impressive for a machine.
It is interesting how this massager is trying to replicate the experience of a human massage therapist. You've got those four rotating nodes, plus that curved shape. It's probably designed to feel like thumbs and fingers pressing and moving during a deep tissue massage.
And don't forget about the heat function. Like we talked about earlier, reviewers seem to love the added warmth, especially for relieving muscle pain.
Oh yeah, for sure. Heat therapy can be a great addition to massage. It helps to relax the muscles and increase blood flow. It's actually a really common technique used by professional massage therapists, so it makes sense why they'd include it in this massager.
But we did mention some people thought the heat wasn't strong enough, so it sounds like it really depends on what you personally prefer.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's different when it comes to how much heat they can handle. What feels soothing to one person might not be enough for someone else.
True. It's all about finding what feels right for you. Okay, so we've talked about the positives, but now let's switch gears and talk about some of the negative reviews. I mean, lots of people loved the VIKTOR JURGEN back massager, but there were definitely some people who weren't so happy with it.
Yeah, that's bound to happen with any product, especially one with over 10,000 reviews. You're going to get a wide range of opinions and experiences.
One of the main complaints was the intensity of the massage. Some people found it too strong, even to the point where it was painful.
That's a good reminder that it's important to listen to your body and adjust the massage intensity to what feels right for you. Start slow, gradually increase the pressure, and if you start to feel any discomfort, just stop.
That makes sense. Another complaint we saw was about the position of the control buttons. Apparently, some people found them awkward to reach, especially when they were using the massager on their back.
Interesting. That's definitely something the manufacturer should consider. Ideally, the controls should be easy to use no matter where you're using the massager.
And then, of course, there's the whole durability issue we talked about before. There were multiple reviews from people saying the massager just stopped working after a few months.
Right. That's definitely a bit of a red flag. It brings us back to that cost versus quality conversation. The VIKTOR JURGEN back massager is cheap, but that might mean it's not going to last as long. It's kind of a trade-off.
I see what you mean. So for someone who needs relief right now and is on a tight budget, this massager might be a good option in the short term. But for someone who wants a product that's going to last for years, it might be better to invest in a more durable model, even if it costs a bit more upfront.
Exactly. It really depends on your individual needs and priorities.
Now, before we move on to talking about those other options, we have to address the elephant in the room one more time.
Yeah.
That mysterious car adapter. Some people say it comes with it. Some people say it doesn't. What's the deal? What's a smart shopper supposed to do?
The key is to do your research. Look closely at the product listing. Pay attention to all the details and any variations they offer. See if it specifically mentions a car adapter either in the description or the Q&A section. And if you're still not sure, don't be afraid to contact the seller directly and ask.
Good advice. A little bit of extra effort can go a long way. So just to recap, the VIKTOR JURGEN back massager seems to offer a powerful deep tissue massage, and it's definitely affordable. But buyers should be aware of the potential downsides, like the intensity, the awkward button placement, and those concerns about how long it's going to last.
Exactly. And let's not forget about that mysterious car adapter. Definitely do your homework before you buy.
So are we ready to broaden our horizons and explore some other options for back pain relief?
You bet. Let's dive into the world of massage guns, foam rollers, acupuncture mats. We'll even talk about some high-tech gadgets you might not have even heard of.
So we've spent a good amount of time digging into this whole car adapter thing, and it seems like it's less of a mystery and more of a miscommunication.
Yeah, it looks like the manufacturer just doesn't say for sure whether or not the adapter comes with it, which explains why people are confused and why different sellers are saying different things.
So basically, it's a bit of a gamble. You might get lucky and find an adapter in the box, but you might not, And then you're left wondering if you did something wrong.
Exactly. It just goes to show how important it is to read the product description carefully and check the customer reviews to see if anyone mentions the adapter. And,
Mhm.
if you're still not sure, just contact the seller directly and ask.
Yeah, good advice. It's definitely worth the extra effort to avoid any headaches later on.
Absolutely. The more informed you are as a buyer, the better.
Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive into the VIKTOR JURGEN back massager and all the other options out there, what are the key takeaways for our listeners? What should they keep in mind as they try to figure out the best way to deal with back pain?
Well, first and foremost, remember that there's no magic solution that works for everyone. What works great for one person might not do anything for someone else. It really comes down to your individual needs, preferences, and how much pain you can tolerate.
Yeah, it's like finding the perfect pair of jeans. You got to try a few different ones before you find the one that fits just right.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to experiment a little. Try out different products, different techniques. See what your body responds to best.
And what about people who are on a budget? Are there any affordable ways to deal with back pain?
Definitely. Simple things like stretching regularly, maintaining good posture, and even just taking short walks throughout the day can make a big difference. And, like we talked about earlier, foam rollers are a super cheap and effective way to give yourself a massage.
Those are great tips. And it's important to remember that dealing with back pain isn't just about finding the right product or gadget. It's about making a conscious effort to take care of your overall well-being.
You got it. It's about developing a holistic approach to self-care, incorporating movement, mindfulness, and ways to reduce stress.
And don't forget to pay attention to your body. If something hurts, stop doing it. And if the pain is really bad or doesn't go away, talk to your doctor or a physical therapist.
That's good advice. Your health is the most important thing you have, so take care of yourself.
All right, so we've covered a lot today, from deep tissue massage to massage guns, foam rollers, acupuncture mats, and everything in between. We've looked at the pros and cons, compared different options, and hopefully we've given you the information you need to make smart decisions about how to manage your back pain.
Exactly. And remember, this is just the beginning of your journey. Keep learning, keep exploring, keep experimenting until you find what works best for you.
That's a great way to put it. So until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and take care of yourselves.